pool chlorine can kill. This just happened, and this video is so it doesn't happen again. It was this past Saturday, February 7th, 2026. A woman named Juliana Bassetto was having a swimming lesson with her husband at a gym here in the east zone of Sao Paulo. They jumped into the water and smelled something bad and started feeling sick. They weren't the only ones. Other people there started to notice it too, and they went to the hospital. A teenager was also hospitalized, and Juliana didn't make it. She passed away. Her husband and the teenager are still hospitalized, in serious condition. I found this kind of accident in the pool very strange, especially because it involves something chemical. I really like chemistry, so I went to do some research, like what could have happened there. Are there other cases of people getting intoxicated in the pool? Is this a common type of accident? And I found out that it has happened several times before. Look, for example, in 2018, a student from a gym in Campinas, a victim of chlorine poisoning, died at the Unicamp hospital. In Canada in 2012, there was also an accident with chlorine in a pool that sent 12 people to the hospital. In 2003, in France, death by chlorine in a swimming pool. In 2018, in Syria, students suffered chlorine poisoning in a federal school pool in Fortaleza. So, yes, it's something that happens in practically all of these cases. There's a bucket of chlorine where something was mixed near the pool. Let's understand this story by starting with chlorine. What is this chlorine that we hear about all the time? That's in the water we drink, that's in the pool, that's in plastic. It's right here. Look, number 17 on the periodic table, D. It's a highly reactive chemical element. What does that mean? That it reacts with all sorts of things. It undergoes chemical reactions with many different things. And that's very useful for us. We'll see that in a moment. In nature, the chlorine chemical element isn't found free like that. Usually, it's in the form of a gas, and it's made up of 2 chlorine atoms. It's held to this gas. It's kind of green, kind of yellowish, the color you're seeing right here on the board. And it's very toxic. Chlorine is a toxic gas that attacks the respiratory system, the eyes, and the skin. The concentration that is immediately dangerous to life and health is 10 parts per million. Even a small amount of chlorine gas in the air is already very dangerous for us. But in our daily lives, that's not the gas that shows up. No, chlorine is usually mixed with some other products in some other form. It's the active ingredient in what we use. This here, for example, is bleach. The chlorine here is in the form of sodium hypochlorite in pool chlorine. It's another formula. In this case, it's sodium dichloroisocyanurate. But it could also be calcium hypochlorite, which is also used in pools. To make everyone's life easier, I'm just going to call it chlorine, which is what we use in our daily lives, okay? And why is it useful for us? Because it's a wonderful disinfectant. It kills fungi, kills algae, kills bacteria, kills viruses. So when we treat water, for example, we remove all the dirt from it and make it nice and clean to drink. But it has to travel many kilometers of pipes to get to your house. Where something could get in. Is your water tank really that clean? What do we add? Chlorine. It stays with the water all the way to your house, like a bodyguard. If a virus or a fungus gets in, it will kill it and protect your health. Even when you turn on the tap and the water comes out a bit whitish. You already know what that is, right? It's air, not chlorine. I've explained this before. Manuel do Mundo has a full video on it. Click at the end to watch. The one we buy at the supermarket, which we also call bleach, is used for 2 things. First, to make clothes white and clean, because chlorine reacts with all sorts of things, including the stuff you spill on your clothes, like the tomato sauce you dropped when you were eating pizza. It can cause unexpected stains. The moment you add chlorine, it destroys those molecules and removes the color from the tomato sauce, without damaging the shirt. Of course, if the shirt is black, blue, or yellow, the chlorine will attack the dye, and you'll get a stain on the shirt. We've also already taught on Manual do Mundo how to make drawings using chlorine on a shirt, and the other function is as a cleaning product, so you can disinfect an area there. And now we've already entered dangerous territory. When do mixtures with chlorine go wrong? It's very common in a chemical reaction where chlorine is the active ingredient for us to have the release of chlorine gas, either in this gas form that I've already explained, or in the form of chloramine, which is a type of substance that contains chlorine and causes the same problems as chlorine. It causes respiratory problems, burns your eyes, and has a terrible smell. In fact, when you smell that strong chlorine odor, it's usually some type of chloramine. This is the danger we're dealing with here today. So, someone is there, wants to do a deep cleaning, grabs bleach, which already cleans well, and thinks, wow, I'll mix it with another product that also cleans well, and it'll become something super powerful. That's not true. The two cleaning products can react chemically, and the result, gases that will poison you. So, the first lesson of this video is that we don't mix cleaning products, even if it's not chlorine. For those who read the ingredients of cleaning products, many of them have chlorine, since chlorine is the active ingredient. It's not labeled or sold as bleach, so when you mix it, you don't realize it contains chlorine. It forms those things I've already shown, but I won't go over them again. Jansen is behind this camera here, feeling guilty, because he's mixed them several times before. Look, Jansen, there's our lesson, right? I'm blaming Jansen, but I did it myself about 10 years ago, here on Manual do Mundo. I tried an experiment to remove the color from soda using bleach. I did the test. It took the color out of the soda, but it left a horrible smell. It made the room toxic because our friends were probably released there. When we talk about bleach, it's weak. There's not much chlorine in it. But when we talk about the chlorine that goes in the pool, that's different. Here we have 10 kilos of product in solid form. It hasn't been diluted yet. It's super concentrated. I'm going to open it to show you. This is the powder that we put in the pool. So what's the basic sequence of practically all those accidents whose headlines I just read? The person goes to take care of the pool, which is usually a big pool, like a club pool, a gym pool, or a school pool. A lot of chemicals are used. She puts a lot of chlorine in a bucket and mixes something else in there, and that other thing varies. But the truth is that almost everything reacts with chlorine. So anything you mix with chlorine, you shouldn't be mixing with chlorine. At this point, you can probably imagine, right? Our enemies start to form here. Gas starts to come out. Chlorine and different types of chloramines start to come out. Toxic gases start to be released from this magic potion that was put together there. The person doesn't necessarily put this product in water, okay? Because just mixing it and having gas start to come out is already a huge danger. So I don't know if in Juliana's case this was put in the water, and in several other accidents I've read about, it wasn't. It was just the fact that the mixture was made near the pool. The problem is that usually these pools are also in enclosed places, right? They're places protected from the cold and the rain. So when you create a toxic gas in there, it doesn't go away. The wind doesn't take it, it starts to accumulate. So even if just a little bit of gas comes out, if that gas keeps accumulating in the environment, there will come a time when you'll have a completely poisoned place. To make things even worse, these gases are denser than air, heavier than air, so they accumulate at the bottom. The person who mixed it won't necessarily smell anything strange. Maybe they won't notice anything because the gas accumulated down below, just down there. Who's down there? The person who's swimming in the pool has their head at the waterline, practically at ground level, where the toxic gas will accumulate. But it's even worse than that, because the person who's down there, they're already smelling chlorine, which is common in pool water. So when they smell this new gas that appears, it already smells like chlorine anyway. So they say, wow, this pool smells kind of strong today, right? And they keep swimming. And to make it even worse, when we swim and put in a lot of effort, we have to breathe a lot. So you take in more air, and you're gonna breathe in more poisoned air. There will come a time when your eyes will start to burn. Your nose will burn, people will start coughing, having trouble breathing. And by then, the damage may already be done. At that moment, the most important thing to do is to get everyone out of that place. Because if you try to help someone who's feeling sick there, you'll end up feeling sick too. Or if you only take out the person who's feeling sick, the others who stay behind will start feeling sick too. And more than that, help has to be immediate, because there's something that could be happening that you're not seeing, which is pulmonary edema. When we hurt our lungs a lot, our body might release some water into the lungs, and that water kind of blocks breathing. So it's a very serious thing. If that happens, ideally, you should already be in an intensive care unit. The problem is that it takes a while to happen. So I don't know, you coughed a bit, felt sick, threw up? Oh no, it's fine. You don't need to go to the hospital. Yes, you do. Because if you get pulmonary edema, it will happen a little later. And that's when you need to have help nearby. I'll be honest, this scenario I mentioned, which is common in these cases, I don't know if that's what happened with Juliana. From what the investigations are showing so far, it's only been 3 days since it happened. It seems like that's what happened. Yes, there's a bucket involved there. Many people felt sick. There was a very strong smell near the pool. But anyway, this kind of accident with chlorine in the pool is common. It's happened several times before. There are 3 key things we must be careful about. The most important thing of all, by far, is not to mix chlorine with things when you don't know what will happen. Don't mix chlorine with anything. Only use what's in the instructions. Second thing, guys, if you start to feel sick or smell something really strong, everyone should leave the pool area. My pool always has a strong, terrible smell. No, it shouldn't. Pool treatment is not supposed to leave the pool with a strong, terrible smell. And the third thing is to notice signs of intoxication. Take them to the hospital quickly, as it can cause pulmonary edema. Fantastico interviewed Juliana's father about her case. I think it's sad to interview people then. I don't really like it. But what he said is that some kind of justice needed to be done so that this wouldn't happen to other people. My role isn't really to bring justice, but I can provide information. And what we did in this video today is exactly that, trying to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. I really hope that the people who are in the hospital recover, that they get well, and that we never see this kind of news in the papers again. Deal. If you want to learn more about these household accidents that not everyone talks about, we recorded a video about the danger of hand sanitizer explosions in restaurants. There are also a lot of cases, and every time it happens, it seems like it's the first time. So check out this video, where we explained how we shouldn't use hand sanitizer in chafing dishes, in those food warmers that we see in self-service restaurants,